Hi guys, welcome to my channel. We are going to talk about the case that is just blowing up on every single social media platform. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We have in almost live time this saga playing out of this girl with three different surnames: Julia, Wendell, Faustyna, Wendelt. I don't know. I'm calling her Wendell because the other two names are just too much for my tongue. She came out in January and she came out on Instagram with an Instagram page titled, "I am Madeleine McCann." Now, a lot of people do not realize that this is not the first time that somebody came out on social media and claimed to be little Maddie all grown up. I have at least three that come to mind. But that was like a TikTok trend, if you will, that died out. And they only said it for a very short period of time and then actually said that they were just joking. Julia, on the other hand, is riding this train. She is going hard. So one has to wonder, does this 21-year-old really believe that she is little Maddie, or is this a scam? When I initially saw it, I have to say, I consider myself a pretty good judge of character. And for the most part, as much as any of us can, I feel like I can get the sense when somebody is bullshitting. I couldn't with Julia. I really couldn't. I sincerely felt when I initially saw some of her lives that she was a very troubled girl. And although I didn't believe her to be Maddie, I did believe that she believed that she was Maddie, or in the very least, believed that she was abducted and was living in this false family. The reason I personally did not believe that she was Maddie is not because it would be completely ludicrous. I mean, we have seen abducted people, reemerge years later, and that would be a celebratory situation. And why not Julia, right? It would have to be somebody. I didn't personally believe it only because in my heart, I believe that little Maddie has passed on. And I believe that that happened in 2007, and very likely on May 3rd, 2007, when she was first reported missing. And I don't really feel like I need to go over the Madeleine McCann case because I'm sure that 99.9% of the people that will watch this video are very familiar with the story. If you're not, look it up. But when I watched Julia, again, not believing that she was Maddie, I felt for her. I felt that there was true pain in this young girl, confusion. On the other hand, she could be mentally ill, which would be no fault of her own, right? She could still believe it, but maybe because she was having delusions. Or it was just a flat out scam. And I didn't feel that. Initially, I did not feel that. So not too long after, as she was presenting all the evidence of how she was Maddie, including the misshaped pupil, the defect that little Maddie had, which it is rare. It's like 1 in 10,000 people, and seemed to be shared by Miss Julia. And, some moles or, freckles or different things. She went on to talk about how she had no memories of her childhood and how, her family couldn't or wouldn't produce any evidence of her being a biological member of their family. No birth certificate, no baby pictures. She went on to say that her grandmother at some point months prior had made a strange comment to her. And then the big piece came when she said that while looking into the disappearance of young Madeleine, she saw the picture of one of the suspects. And she then said that she recognized this man as the man that had essayed her when she was a child. Now, to be clear, little Maddie went missing from Praia da Luz, and I'm sure that I just butchered that, in Portugal, and Julia is a native of Portugal, but currently living in Germany. So when she saw the picture of the suspect, who, by the way, has never been charged, she said that she recognized him as a man that had abused her as a child. Again, not too far-fetched, right? Because if she was a native of Portugal and the reason he was a suspect was because he was in the area at that time, among other things about him and his past crimes, it wasn't completely outlandish to think that she could have recognized this gentleman. We didn't hear much from her family at first. They stayed pretty quiet. At some point, it was stated that the McCanns, Kate and Jerry, had agreed to do a DNA test. And since that point, they have not necessarily rescinded that offer, but they've stated that they would prefer that Julia's family, her mother and her father, do a DNA test. If it is ruled out that she is not their biological child, then they would do a DNA test. And some people have kind of, been upset about that and said, well, why wouldn't the McCanns just do it? And then, of course, a lot of people have said ugly things, such as, of course, they're not going to do it. There's no reason to. They already know where Maddie is. Remember, they have never been charged, but they were looked at very closely. And in the public opinion, there's still a shadow of doubt among a lot of people when it comes to their involvement in the disappearance of their daughter. So a lot of people were like, sketchy. They won't do the DNA test. I'll say this. I've always kind of put a little bit of doubt in the McCanns, but in the off chance that they are completely innocent, I don't think it's unreasonable for them to say, look, you guys do the DNA test, and if she's not your biological child, then we are happy to come forward and do a DNA test. But we're not going to drudge up all of that pain, all, of this emotion if she's their biological child. And a lot of people were like, well, what is with the family of Julia? Why are they not coming out? Why are they not doing this DNA test? I mean, wouldn't they want to clear it up now that it is so worldwide and everybody is speculating and watching? And then Julia came out and she posted some text messages between her and her mother that, there was friction between them. The mother was like, I'm selling my house. I don't ever want to talk to you again. Look, I'm sure this was very overwhelming for them. So whatever was said between mother and daughter in the heat of the moment, whatever, right? They did eventually make a statement saying that they didn't want to do any interviews. They didn't want to come out publicly, but that Julia has suffered some mental illnesses throughout the entirety of her life, basically, and that they have always gotten her the help that she needed. She is now older and she doesn't comply with treatment and medication, and, their hands are tied. There's nothing they can do, but that this is their biological child, and they're just, they just are washing their hands of the situation. They want her to get help, but, she's an adult and there's just not a whole lot that they can do, basically. And they did go on to say there is a birth certificate, there is baby pictures. Julia has access to all of it. They don't know what is all going on with her. And then there was a family member, and I don't know if it was a cousin, I don't know who it is. I almost got the sense that the two mothers were either, Julia's mother and this girl's mother were either best friends or relatives or something, on Julia's Facebook. And this girl was just like, Julia, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing your mother this way publicly? You know she's your mother. you know that none of what you're saying is true, and this is your 15 minutes of fame, but it's going to come crashing down. And what are you going to tell your million plus followers when the truth comes out? And her and Julia kind of went back and forth. Julia continued to claim that she had this horrific childhood, full of chaos and abuse. And the girl was like, no, you didn't. They argued back and forth. And a lot of people came forward and said, let's expose Julia for who she really is. She has in the past tried to become famous on social media, and that she even has a very explicit, what's the name of that site? OnlyFans? Well, that didn't upset me, because if she had truly been SA'd, the fact that she would then go into adult entertainment is not all that shocking. And before you message and come at me saying that, I'm saying something poorly about people that work in the adult industry, I'm not. But there are statistics to back up that over 80% of women who do work in this industry have had a past of either SA or exploitation of some sort. So the fact that she was pursuing that as a way to make money was not shocking to me, and didn't take away from her claims that, she, at the very least, was not the person that her family was leading her to believe that she was her entire life, that she had come from some other family and that the truth was being withheld from her. So as we continue to watch this, where are we at right now? Well, currently, it looks like Julia's family may end up doing a DNA test just to end this whole thing. And if I were them, I would. Even if my child was mentally ill, suffering from delusions, I knew 1,000% that this was my child, and I didn't want the publicity, and I'm embarrassed and horrified at this whole entire ordeal. I would still do it, at least for the McCanns. Even if I didn't care what the public thought, even if I didn't feel like I owed anybody else an explanation, I think I would probably do it just for the McCanns. That's just me. The McCanns are sitting on the fact that they will do a DNA test once it's ruled out that Julia is not delusional and or just mistaken, and that she is not the biological daughter of this family, that they will come forward and they will do a DNA test. There is a doctor slash therapist slash psychic medium slash holistic healer slash, I don't know, named Fia Jonathan. She has been very vocal in the case, and she has kind of taken Julia under her wing. And she has said basically that, not that she has not said that she believes that Julia is Madeleine, but that she does believe that Julia has some things that need to be answered from this family that says that they are her biological family. She seems adamant that Julia has endured something, and that people need to give this girl answers to her questions. Family says there's nothing to answer. Julia knows everything, and that this is just, family says, father says that this is mental illness. Other people that know her say this is just a claim to fame. But this doctor stands by her and, says that she will help her get all the answers that she needs. Now, it doesn't appear that this was her doctor or her therapist prior to this becoming public. I believe that this doctor kind of came on when it became very public. She has been on Fox and, I don't know, CBS, Wall Street Journal, whatever. She is a public figure, this psychic slash medium slash therapist. So I don't know if she's like a therapist and a medium. Why doesn't she just ask spirit and tell us if this is in fact, okay, stop, I'm being mean. But in my opinion, I find a scam, highly unlikely, only because the girl can't be that she can't be that dumb. She'd have to know that even if she got all these followers, even if she got all this publicity, if she just made this up for the hell of it to, gain all these followers, at some point, either people are going to start to demand that she prove it. And in this day and age, that's very easy. You know what I mean? Like, where's your ancestry.com? Like $50, take your test. It would be so easy to prove at this point in the day and age that we live in. At some point, you would think that she would know that people would want answers. And once she would be exposed as a scam artist, then what? Then what? The internet can be an ugly place. It's not very forgiving. People don't easily forget. If you were to try to snow over 1 million followers with this scam story and the truth came out, you would be unmercifully blacklisted, bullied, like you name it on social media. In fact, she's already being bullied to a certain extent. She has a lot of support, but she also has a lot of people that are bullying her. So can you imagine if she was actually exposed as just a lying scam artist? I don't know. Anything's possible, but I almost think like either there is some delusions there, some kind of fictitious disorder where she actually genuinely believes what she's saying, or she has had a very traumatic childhood and it's led her, I don't know, down this dark road of believing that she really was abducted and that she belongs to another family. I don't know, like wishful thinking. I'm not sure. I do think that this is a troubled girl. Whether that's from some kind of past trauma or whether or not that's, from some kind of mental illness causing delusions, I'm not really sure. But I don't think that it's just an out and out scam. I've heard some other bits and pieces of things that, she's kind of done similar things like this before. Well, okay, but like if she's mentally ill, that still doesn't make her a scam artist. And if she is just so broken and so traumatized and like some horrific things really did happen that need to be sorted out or exposed or taken care of or healed or addressed or, what have you, is she really culpable for that either? If she truly believes it, I don't know. I guess we have to stay tuned. But tell me what you think about the whole entire situation. Is she a liar? Is she just out for fame to make some money? I don't know. I don't think that she's necessarily brought in a lot of money. I think people have offered to pay for a DNA test, but I don't think she's raking in money per se, just for the story itself. Or do you think that this girl really is somebody else? Do you think that this is mental illness sadly playing out in front of us? And unfortunately, it's going to get ugly for her, because if she really is mentally ill and this comes out that she's not Maddie and she is their biological daughter, this could get really ugly for her, because people can get very, very cruel. And that's not going to help a situation if she isn't following through with treatment and or medication that she needs to be on. Now, this Fia, this therapist slash holistic healer slash medium slash psychic, hopefully, she's not in it for publicity, and that she really will hold Julia's hand in the aftermath of this if it comes out that she is just their biological daughter and there's nothing more to this story. I hope that she is going to be there, to catch her in the wind when things really blow up on social media in a very unkind way. Tell me what you think about the whole entire story. Did you believe at any point that she was Maddie, that she could be Maddie? Do you believe it now? Do you think that Maddie is even still alive? Or like me, do you think that Maddie, unfortunately, crossed over way back in 2007 and we're not going to find her? Not in Julia and not in anybody else. Let me know what you think. I will see you soon. Bye.